What's up guys, it's Project, and today we're going to be talking more Monster Hunter World. I was planning to make a video with all the latest info that we got since my last video, which if you haven't seen that one, check it out. It'll be in the end screen annotations. But the E3 Behind Doors multiplayer demo leaked, so we're going to get into that in this video instead. Now, I can't show any of the footage or link to the vids themselves, as I don't want to jeopardize this video or theirs, getting risk of getting taken down by Capcom, but I will talk about it in great detail here. I've not signed any NDAs or anything. I've simply saw the leaked footage, so I'm free to discuss it to you guys. The video is horrible phone quality anyways, so it's not like it's a must-see. First of all, if you thought the reveal trailer was lacking and raised a lot of questions and concerns, especially towards combat, well bruh, this demo is insane. It squashes all fears and answers most questions. This is a true Monster Hunter and plays just like past games with new improvements for expanding the audience, and it looks like a ton of fun. And honestly, this may be the Monster Hunter I've always dreamt of. So first off, there could be 3 large monsters in one area at the same time. Before there was only a maximum of 2 if I remember, and not only that, but the monsters engagingly attacked each other throughout the battle. Namely Anjanath, the T-Rex looking monster, versus Rathalos, the flying red dragon that you see on the main cover and stuff like that. The Great Jarga, that lizard monster in the trailer, tried to fight Anjanath, but John said nope, grabbed it with its mouth and slammed it to the ground 2 to 3 times. The lizard pissed itself and ran away, not literally, but I would if I was him. The player first fought Anjanath like you saw in the reveal trailer until a Wrath showed up, where things got crazy. Wrath is short for Rathalos if you're unaware. At one point, the monsters fought each other and hit each other, which broke a dam, rushing water out, sending both you and the monsters down a waterfall over a cliff. Man, that thing was crazy. And as you fell, the player used a grappling hook on a vine to stay alive at the last moment, and at the bottom lay the monsters with their usual struggling animation. They also took a ton of damage from this fall, represented by damage numbers which now show up that can also be toggled off, so no fears on that. This is a neat addition and a welcomed one in my opinion. As a Neo player, seeing numbers lets me see what is dealing the most damage gear-wise, but for new players, this addition that helps them identify which part of the monster's body is best to hit, as monsters have different locations that take different amounts of damage on their body. Some are armored, some are weak points, so now you can figure out whether a cut or impact damage type is best on a certain body part, or whether an element is effective or not effective. This is a godsend, giving you how to look this crap up online and memorize it and whatnot. Now you can test and see everything in-game, keeping the immersion. The monsters also seem way smarter and more fluid in their transition of moves, and despite some areas of the map being only accessed through smaller tight spaces, the monsters could still chase you, such as Anjanath seen in the trailer. For combat, rest assured, it plays just like same old Monster Hunter, except probably better now with more fluidity and speed. A lot of the old core moves are still in, think guild style if Monster Hunter Generations was your first. There's also new moves in for all the weapons, as well as a couple flashy ones too, so it looks like a lot of fun. The players playing weren't that good, so I'm sure skilled people can make some dank videos. A key new feature is the ability to move when using a healing item, as well as other items. You're slowed down a little bit when drinking up, think walking around with a greatsword unsheathed if you're familiar with the past games, or using an elixir in Neo, that kind of speed. The flex pose upon healing from past games is also out, which thank God. It was charming but mostly annoying and pointless. You don't heal instantly, but rather drank it over time, so you're in that animation while you're healing up. It's rather slow, but you'd be able to heal to full, it seems, if you spent the entire animation doing it. You can also just cancel mid-heal and just heal a quick amount if you wanted, so there's still some challenge. Just because you can move doesn't mean you won't get hit if you're not careful, especially given the new AI of the monsters and the fact that more monsters can be on screen. Unsure if there's an instant healing item, but perhaps there will be one just later on down the road, later in the game. I'm liking this new healing thing though. Cutting down on item management and having just one main healing item like Estus and Dark Souls is an improvement in my opinion. There was a lot of environmental combat. You can interact a hell of a lot more using environments to your advantage, either sneaking or slingshotting rocks from the ceiling of a cave to fall on your prey, or jumping on vines to traverse around. And even shaking a poison plant to drop a poison puddle that can poison anything that walks into it, even you. Gathering is now quick and seamless. You simply press circle to grab honey and whatnot, and you can move while doing so. You can collect some plants to also heal this way as well, acting as herbs. Stuff like bitter bugs are actually physically in-game things you can collect, rather than a generic spot you go to and depend on RNG to get a certain kind. So it quickens the otherwise dull gathering process of older games and being much more natural. Mounting a monster is similar to 3DS with a knife early on, but you eventually switch to your main weapon at one point to deal the final blow to knock them over. When you mount a monster, they shake and try to toss you off, but getting knocked off early allows you to recover with the grappling hook, a new tool in the game, and if timed just right, you can hook onto the monster and land back on them for another shot at taking them down. It all kept the action and excitement flowing. Mounting Rathalos actually made him fly, and he can even drag you to other areas of the map. Really cool. Sharpness is still in, which is a staple mechanic of the franchise where after certain breakpoints your weapon would become dull and deal less damage, so it's this franchise's durability mechanic, in other words. Unlike old games, however, now you visually see your sharpness go down in a gauge bar rather than out of nowhere dropping down a level. This helps tell you if you should sharpen before re-engaging with the monster. Blood splatter is still in. I know that was a bit of a concern given the trailer's lack of impact when they hit the monster, so there will be blood. Superman dive. Superman dive is still in, which is a last minute dodge to save your life. Palicos are still in. Our furry friends are still in, which are Neko AI companions you can have with you in the world of Monster Hunter. All 14 weapon classes are still in. Doesn't seem to be any new so far. The quest timer is still in, but it seems to be quest specific only, meaning if you timed out, you fail the quest, but you might not be kicked out of the map just because of that, which would be a welcome change if you still want to defeat monsters at least and get carves rather than wasting 50 minutes and getting nothing. That's my hope at least. You can now fast travel to your base camp when not engaged in combat, riding the Remobra or whatever wyvern creatures you saw in the trailer that also bring in allies to help you for multiplayer when you fire the SOS flare, which leads to the next point of being able to change your equipment in the mission themselves at the base camp, rather than only the hub. Previous Monster Hunter games had a main hub used to access missions, make gear, and for the story, but in missions you get a mini base camp to rest or collect or store items. However, once you picked a loadout for a mission, you were stuck with it if you started the mission, otherwise you'd have to exit the mission if you wanted to change, wasting time with loading screens and re-preparation. Now you can change equipment at base camp whenever you're at the base camp, so this is an amazing change. It also makes sense given the bigger environments where you might fight an unexpected monster where your weapon isn't as effective, so now you can go back to the camp and adjust to that. The scout flies were shown off extensively, which help you track monsters that become more helpful as you gather evidence of a monster being in a location, to the point where they'll straight lead you towards a monster. This is very helpful for new players not familiar with the hunting game or tracking in previous Mon Hun games. Visually they seemed a bit much, however. Hopefully there's a way to toggle them to be less intrusive. If you didn't want their help, you simply don't interact with evidence, so there's that for anyone annoyed by this feature. In the footage we got actual voice acting for once, in English to boot, of what seems to be our guild marm, usually a lady that helps you in the story explaining things and just being a cutie, but in this demo she helped you throughout the entire mission vocally, offering you tips and general tutorial stuff. Hopefully this is only for the tutorial though, as she wouldn't shut the hell up. I'm sure I'll be able to toggle that in the options come release, but cool for getting new players to understand the game and very much needed since Monster Hunter is rather hard to get into from past games. The voice acting is also welcome over the text dialogue on those puny 3DS screens where the text was barely readable. And lastly, the demo ended with the players ganging up on Anjanath. Since it was the quest target, they had 5 minutes left and managed to snag the kill just in time. And to further be impressive, the start of the demo took place in bright daytime, and by the end of the hunt, it was nighttime. So yes, there's a full day and night cycle as you hunt. It can change to nighttime, opening unique opportunities for certain monsters to appear during certain periods of the day. And that about covers everything from that, and covered a lot of the stuff I had planned to say anyways. One final note, in an interview Glixel had with the developers, the devs have hammered on the power the game is able to bring due to being on better systems, which all of what I said and what you'll see in the future is proof of that, and what it means for the world and monsters themselves. We finally can do what we've always wanted, Yuya Takuda said. He further said, the concept of open world was what we've always wanted to do. With the main Monster Hunter team working on this, guys, trust me, this game is going to be something special, not only for us hunters who play the past games, but for you, new players as well. So let's band together and be helpful and positive to create a much larger audience than ever before. I can't wait to hunt with all you amazing people when this game comes out as well. Can't wait to create fun and epic moments in this game with 4-player co-op. They have a presentation on the 20th, which is probably just the same demo or maybe a bit more, so I'll cover that if there's anything interesting. So look forward to that. But that's all from me. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Comment down below what monster you'd like to see make an appearance in this game. As they said, some older monsters will make a comeback. I'm hoping for Gore Magala in his Shagura form. Personally, I really like the Shagura fight a lot, however you pronounce his name. So yeah, let me know what monster you'd want to see. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more Mon Hun epicness, yeah!